Hello class, what's up is Raj here. So today we are discussing about the class 9 science chapter 12. In this chapter we are discussing about the improvement in food resources that are included the types of crops are there. First we call the kharif crops that is grown in the rainy season, that is June to October, example rice and maize, and rabi crop we are talking about the grown in a winter season, that October to March. The example is very simple class, that including are there weight and gram. If you're talking about the crop variety improvement, that the objectivity, higher yields, improvement quality, and the biotic resistant, that including the disease and insects, and the abiotic resistant, that include the heat, drought, and salinity. The short maturity duration including in the crop variety improvement. After that, the methods are including are there the hybridization, selections, and genetic engineering. These all are including in the one things, and the crop production and management including the nutrition management, that including the plant needed, the micronutrition, that uh, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium, sulfur, and the micronutrition including the iron, manganese, zinc, copper, boron, and molybdenum. The sources are very easy or glass. Manures, that is including the organic, fertilizers, that is the chemical, and the biofertilizers are including are there. In the irrigation method, these things are including the wells, tube wells, canals, sprinkle system, and the drip irrigation including the irrigation method. But if we're talking about the cropping patterns, that there are three types of cropping patterns are there: mixed cropping, intercropping, and the crop rotation including are there. Next, if we're talking about the crop production, that including the protection from the weeds, pests, and diseases are there. And the method of very easy class. This is a weedicides, pesticides, fungicides, and the proper storage including are there. After that, we are talking about the animal husbandry, that is the scientific management of the cattle farming, poultry farming, fisheries, and apiculture. Apiculture is usually known as beekeeping. These all are including are there. If we're talking about the fisheries, that include the marine fishes, inland fisheries, composite fish culture. So these are including are there. After that, we are talking about the 20 hardest question with the short answer are there. Differentiate between the macro and micronutrients. So differentiate between the micro and micronutrition. The macronutrition required in a large amount of NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, while the micronutrition are needed in a small amount, that is known as zinc and various crops. After that, we are talking about why is the crop variety improvement is necessary. To increase yield, quality, and resistance to diseases and environmental stress, the crop variety improvement is necessary for that. After that, define hybridization. What do you mean by it? The crossing between genetically dissimilar plants to produce the improvement variety, that is known as hybridization. And what is the genetic manipulation? Direct transfer of the useful genes to improve crop traits. It is known as class genetic manipulations. But if we are talking about why is the manure considered better for the long term soil fertility, it improves soil structure and water holding capacity. So the state after that, we are talking about state 2 disadvantage of the excessive fertilizer use. The soil pollution and the water contamination including are there. After that, next question, define the mixed cropping. Growing two or more crops simultaneously on the land, it is known as mixed cropping class. And what is the intercropping? Growing two or more crops in a defined row patterns, that is known as class intercropping. Why the crop rotation is beneficial? If you're talking about the why the crop rotation beneficial, Prevent the soil nutrition depletions and the control pests including the crop rotation beneficials are there. After that, what are weeds? Again, give one example of it. Unwanted plant that is known as weed class. The example is very simple class Xanthium. What is the role of irrigation? The supplies of water for the growth and nutrition observation, including the role of irrigation class. Name the two modern irrigation method. Sprinkle and the drip irrigation are including in the modern irrigation methods. After that, what is the biological pest control? Use of the natural predator to control the pest. This is known as the biological pest control, including are there. And what is the animal husbandry? The scientific management of animals for the food production is known as the animal husbandry. And what is the crossbreeding in a cattle? The breeding between the local and foreign breeders for the high milk yields is known as the crossbreeding in a cattle. And the define apiculture. Rearing of the honeybees for the honey and the wax is known as class apiculture. So, next question. What is the composite fish culture? Growing different fish species together in a one pond, it is known as class composite fish culture. Why is disease resistance important in poultry? To reduce the mortality and increase the egg and meat production, the disease resistance important in the poultry. And differentiate between the marine inland fisheries. Marine in the sea water and the inland fish is the fresh water. So both are including and the differentiate between the marine and inland fisheries are there. After that, why the storage of grain important to prevent the loss from the pests, moisture and fungi, including that the storage of grains is very important. Thank you so much.